Good hello, small groups. This is for the week of August 8th. And so our scripture for today is Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6. And so I'll read it for you again, but I encourage you to continue to read it this week as we think about how we can train up our children. So train children in the way they should go. When they grow old, they won't depart from it. So I encourage you to think about the people who trained you up in the way you should go. Yes, hopefully your parents, maybe grandparents as well, but were there other people who heavily invested in you, who helped to firm up your foundation? If you grew up in the church, maybe it was your pastor, maybe it was your youth or minister or children's minister, or maybe it was just those awesome volunteers who faithfully taught Sunday school, who went on mission trips with you. Who are those people who invested in you? And of course, we know that people not just in the church have invested in our lives. So again, who are those people who just saw something in you and gave you so much of their time and energy? Maybe it was a sports coach who again went above and beyond, and you knew that you were loved and cared for by this person. Maybe it was a teacher who just again went above and beyond to make sure that you understood the subject, who tutored you after school, who gave you just that extra attention that you needed in order to understand. Maybe it was a neighbor, someone who again just invested in you and your family. Who are those people who helped to change and shape your life? Who maybe gave you hope in a time in which you were feeling hopeless? Who again just gave you that time and energy to really invest in you? And then I want you to think about how strong your foundation might have been, or how weak it might have been without those people. We think of that wonderful story that we are told to build our house upon the rock and not upon the sand. There's a wonderful children's song about this. So that the wise man built his house upon the rock. So when the storms come, the house will not move. But of course, upon the sand, there's not that firm foundation. And so it is harder for that house to stand. So that's when we think about when we're investing heavily in our children and youth. We want that foundation to be so strong so that no matter what storms come, literal storms, right? We had those this week, but also figurative storms, right? When they lose someone they love, when they don't get that ideal job, when they don't get accepted into the college of their dreams, when life happens, we want them to stand firm, to know that God is still with them. And I'm so blessed because I had those people pour into me and pour that foundation of concrete for me to live my life on. And I pray that you all also had those people. So how can we be that for our children and youth? How can more of us invest in our children? I don't remember as many of the lessons I was taught as much as the people who poured into me. So how can we be those same people for our children? So I hope you'll join me in praying for how we can invest, because we will have a return on our investment. My church had so many go into ministry because of the actionable steps that they took, that they actively prayed, they actively invested in children and youth. And I know that God is going to do the same for us. So join me, friends. Join me in giving of our time, our talents, our gifts, so that we can help invest in our children and youth. All right, friends, have an awesome week.